Hey, what color should I use today? You probably ask that question just about every time you go fishing if you run into someone who's just coming off the water or you're at a tackle shop. But did you know that color kind of goes away the farther down you go, or the same thing happens horizontally? Well, I've got a way to try and amplify the color and keep the fish seeing your lure. Stay tuned. I read an interesting article by Steve Starling, and I'll link that up down below, that does a deep dive into how colors change their color the farther down the water column you go. And you don't really need to go down. It can work horizontally as well. The issue is the distance between your lure and the eyeballs of the fish. So the interesting thing to me is that I want to amplify the attractiveness of my live or dead bait. You could probably do this with a plastic worm as well if you want. And I've had a series of videos on using LED lights to increase the attractiveness of fish. Well, I've also discovered a lot of times on my bottom rigs, the fish will hit the light at the bottom and not the live bait, a foot above it. So I've got a way to try and rig up these new small LEDs that I've found right next to the hook to try and attract the fish right to the bait. So what I want to do is have the LED light, these are nice and small, right under the hook where it's not going to interfere with the bite of the fish on the hook. And this will be right next to my live or dead bait, add some sparkle to the water, and I purchased these in green and blue. Now the downside of these is they don't blink as fast as some of the larger ones, but I think the way I'm going to rig these up, it'll work just fine. So what I'm going to do is make a bottom rig. This would work just fine on a Carolina rig as well. And the first thing I'll put on is the LED light, and then I'm going to put the hook with the point up on as well. Then, just to keep from losing everything, I'll tie my surgeon's knot, 2 overhand knots down here at the bottom, and that's where I'll put my weight, because I don't want these things to fall off while I'm messing with it. Then I'll tie a quick dropper loop, 2, 3, 4, 5, reach down, pull everything through, and I want everything to be snugged up together. Put a little lube on there, a little wet, and now that's what I end up with. So I'll have the hook sitting above the LED light with the LED light blinking. And I'm going to give this a try and see how it works. Next stop, let's go to the water. I think I got a good red here. Uh-oh. He broke off. Well, that red was on one of the rigs with the lights. Haven't gotten anything on my control rigs yet. The water here is actually pretty clear today, and so maybe these lights are working and really showing these reds where I'm sitting. Well, let me get another one in the water and we'll see if I can't catch them again. They must be on the move. Got a redfish on. This is the rod with the light. Even though I've got this guy on, I think I've been doing better with the regular bottom rig. I kind of think that sometimes the light might get in the way of the hook, the way I have it rigged up. But it worked this time. So let's get this guy in and see what he looks like. Wow, he's trying to go out to sea. He's running around my boat. That's good. Get him away from other lines. So there he is, nice redfish. You can see that I got him on the light. He's a nice one. Well, let me get him back in the water. Yeah, kind of chilling out here waiting for a hit. Hurricane Dorian is about to hit Florida in 2 days. This has kind of a pre-hurricane smell and feel to it. Just kind of a calm day. You can see there's not much in terms of waves. Light breeze coming up. Just has that weird feel to it. Nothing special about that, just wanted to make the comment. Well, I've been using these lights for a while now, and I don't think I like them. I don't think that they're really making that much of a difference when I compare them to my control rod. And this is a dried out mullet, so I'm putting Procure on them. And I think every once in a while the light actually interferes with the hook. So even though I've caught a couple fish on this, I'm catching the same number of fish on my regular bottom rig. So I don't think I'm going to use this anymore. I'll use it today, maybe get a couple more fish and see what happens, but I think this is a idea that needed to be tested but isn't working out. And I think the reason is that the blinker, in addition to potentially getting hung up in the hook, doesn't blink as fast as the blinker I can have at the bottom of my bottom rig. And you can see that right here on the comparison of the two. So don't bother to buy these little guys, at least not for this application. They might work okay attached to the bottom of the bottom rig, but I kind of like the big ones better. What do you guys think? Have you been trying LED lights like I have? What's your results? Throw them in the comments below. Thanks.